everybody and their neighbor. Welcome back to Gear and Gigs. I'm Jet Stone, your host. So glad you could stop by. Today I'm in the studio with Reggie, and we are checking out 3 of the coolest little Marshall combos, all tube and all under 20 watts. The first one up today we're going to look at is the Slash SL5 little 112 combo. It's got one EL34, 3 ECC83s, 2 channels that are switchable, and a digital reverb. So not totally vintage pure, but we'll see if it holds up to the legend. Next we have Class 5, the little 5-watter with 1 EL84 and 2 ECC83s, also known as 12AX7s here in the States, and a 10-inch speaker. Then we have the Handwired 1974X, the Big Mama, 18 watts, 2 EL84s, 3 ECC83s, a 12-inch speaker, 2 non-foot switchable channels, and a vibrato. Let's check out all 3 in the studio. Hey everybody, welcome to the studio. I'm Jet.
And he's Reggie, and we're here with 3 kind of low wattage Marshall amps today.
Yeah,
Where'd they come from?
Our good friend Stacy, he lent them to us.
Right.
We've got an 18-watter, the big mama.
The Big Mama here, 18-watter 1974X combo.
Yes.
One of my favorite Marshalls.
Me too. And we got a 5-watter over there, a little 5-watter, and a 5-watter over here. And this one's deceptive because it looks like it might be a 50-watter, and when you pick it up, it feels like it might be a 50-watter, but in fact, is a 5-watter. So
that's a Slash, right? That's
the
Slash combo?
the SL5c.
And what is that? What kind of power tubes that run on?
That's an EL34.
EL34.
2 EL84s, and a single EL84 in the Class 5, in the custom white. 2-channel in the Slash, of course, 2-channel in the Slash. Everything else, this has got 2 channels but non-switchable, like a vintage Marshall ought to be, and a single in the 5. And a big difference in price points, of course, big difference in price points going across. So no sense talking about it because they change all the time, but you know, the Class 5 is the least expensive, and it goes up from there. But you know, even though this is 18 watts, it's surprisingly not that much louder, if at all.
One thing that it took me a long time to figure out with guitar especially is that wattage doesn't tell you a volume store. You don't know, you have no idea what kind of volume you're going to get. I had in fact one of those little 50th anniversary 1-watt Marshalls.
Oh yeah.
And I think the power tube was like a little preamp tube, right?
Yeah.
But the glorious sounding little thing is 1 watt, and I played a little stereo rig with a 4-watt Vox, and the 1-watt Marshall was significantly louder than the 4-watt Vox. So it's like, you know, same size speaker, same size box. I mean, everything, all things being equal, right? It was, yeah. So
4-watt Vox. Now, wasn't that that was Sammy Hagar's song?
Sammy Hagar did that. Yeah, 4-watt Vox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-watt Vox. That was a good one. I like that one.
Oh yeah, you can't.
And then somebody else came out with 5-watt Vox, and then
that was. Then what are you gonna do? You're gonna be the guy that comes out with the 6. You might as well just
3,000-watt Vox is my next song.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Slash has got the 1-watt switch as well. So if you want to have 50 pounds or 60 pounds of 1-watt, you can do that too. This one's, if I'm not mistaken, 60 roughly. I think it's everything 50 to 60 pounds.
I know it's heavy.
Don't get technical.
It's a heavy. It's a heavy.
Is that
box.
the international symbol for heavy?
That's it. Yeah, that's like. And plus, it also means it's too big for a carry-on. So you got to go to the back and check that sucker.
So we're smoothing past this.
Let me dial us back to these Marshalls. One guitar player, bang bang bang. Listen to them all, and then maybe for our friends, all 3 of them. Who want to actually hear them side-by-side comparison, we can chop that up later and do a little, you know, this amp, so you can actually get ABC.
Okay.
Rather than, you know, what we're about to do, which is what I like better anyway. Just play an amp, listen to it, and talk about what we think about.
All right. Well, we can rank them, and then we can have the scores show up.
Scores. We can have scores.
Show up somewhere. Okay. So let's rank them on looks, because that's important, right?
Okay.
Looks,
winner.
Right. Because I like the white one. But that's not, we'll rank them.
Okay.
We'll rank them.
All right.
You get a 1 to 3, okay? Looks, clean tone, distortion tone, and usability.
Ooh.
And that could include in clown.
In clown, like gigging?
Or studio.
Okay.
See, that's what I like, is I make up a word, you're right there with it.
I mean, you know,
It's
just
nice.
go with it. That's what
It's
I always
nice.
say. Just go with it. Go with the flow.
That's good to know for other reasons, but the word thing especially.
Doesn't always work, buddy boy.
I've heard that. You go till it breaks is what I say.
Oof.
All right, so this is the Slasheroni,
The Slasheroni 5-watter,
which has
has
a
a
very...
single EL34, which
I'll get a close-up
is
of
the
this.
bigger of those English tubes.
Bigger English tubes.
84s are smaller, 34s are bigger.
Which is
it?
what's
it's
a metric system,
that's
right?
because it's English. They drive on the wrong side. They do everything.
So I'm going to point to this switch. I want you to do a close-up here, there, Phil. I want you to do a close-up on the switch. This is the standby switch on the Slash, and it might be one of the goofiest features I've seen. You have to go through off to get to on from standby. So you start it off in the middle, and you go up to standby, and then you go through off. It's kind of like
So you gotta really slap that thing down, right?
You want to whack it.
Skip right past that middle stop.
Well, yeah, because then you would have defeated the purpose of
That
having
would
the standby.
right. Well, you have a warmed up off amp.
It's like when you're in park and you go through reverse to get to drive and your lights flash for just a second in reverse and people freak out. Yeah, that's what your transformer does. It goes, ah! Oh. Unless your finger falls off mid.
Well, so you got some kind of fancy circuitry in that, or is that basically like old school? Just, I mean, is it even solid state rectified? I'm guessing it is, right? It's
Well,
not.
it has digital reverb, so they're definitely willing to take
Okay.
some liberties.
Okay.
And I have the reverb engaged right now. I'm married in June, if I'm not mistaken, but right now it's just engaged.
Okay.
And I've got it turned up. I had it up too loud, but now it's not. So
Okay.
there you go.
So you've made adjustments now to
Just
this
this
amp.
very second. That's
and
how
then,
quick and easy it is.
and we're going to test this, with a fairly flat EQ? Have you done something to the EQ on that? What's it got, bass and treble?
Bass, mid, and treble.
Oh, it's got all three.
Yeah, I'm going to start you flat.
I like an amp that has all three.
I'm going to start you flat, and we'll go from there. We're at a basic volume here. It has presence. I'm going to leave that it's 9 o'clock. I don't know what time it is, but you were here at 9 o'clock, so
9 o'clock
that counts as
somewhere,
present.
right?
I
9
think it
o'clock
does.
somewhere.
Okay, all right, so I'm going to go with the neck pickup. And so far, the signal-noise ratio is just incredible.
That is, I got to say, that's probably...
How many amps that quiet have you heard?
Very few.
I sound like
A
Yoda.
few, but not a
How many
lot.
amps that quiet have you
But
heard?
right off the bat, not gig worthy.
It looks
saying.
great, but
Right.
geez, I don't think it's going to cut through. Well, cutting through is actually not going to be this amp's problem. It's very cut-throughable.
Yeah,
Cut-through-esque.
it's a meaty sounding amp, is what it is.
It is. It's meaty. I don't have a master volume on the volume. That's it. On the
Oh, clean is just volume. Oh, I like that.
You don't have anything, in fact. Oh, I take that back. The EQ works. So your shared EQ. It's not as flat as Marshalls usually sound clean. Wouldn't you agree?
It has depth to it. It seems a little loaded heavy, maybe. Just a little extra something on,
I just like when you do that.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do because it's like you're playing piano,
But it
except you're
shouldn't
upside
be
down.
your hobby.
Right.
Is what I keep
Well,
telling you.
It's not a hobby so much as it is
Pastime?
just an occasional pastime.
Dinner with the family is not the time.
Why
At the
don't-
restaurant.
I usually don't go.
When you're not in a booth. In a booth, I think that kind of stuff. It's open. I can whack it pretty hard, and it doesn't
You should
choke.
just remember that little bit and make sure you do a little bit of that on each amp so we can do the little things where you can, and you're playing the same thing, you know what I'm saying? See,
Actually, I have a looper recording this, and I'm just going to pretend to play it next time.
oh, dude. So really, we're going to hear the same amp 3 times. Oh, okay.
It's not bad.
I can say this. I don't dislike that
It's
amp
not
at all.
loud
It's-
enough to be a gig-worthy situation, though.
I think it probably could be, though. So where do you got your...
I'm looking at the switch. There's the 1 watt. So that's the difference 4 watts make. That 4 watt box, that's the difference.
Right.
So it's not very loud. Still not, you're not getting over a drummer, I don't think. But for studio, it's nice. How about stress them in between quack? It's nice.
Yeah.
It's It's not as chimey as
It's snappy. It has an immediacy to it that's nice.
Meaty is a word you keep bringing up.
Immediacy.
Oh, immediacy. Maybe meaty is a word I keep hearing.
Right. That's what you get.
All right, let's listen to what this thing was really meant to do. Input 1, let's try it. Yeah. I can hear the reverb now.
Okay. And that's a way...
Meteor?
Well, come on now.
I said a meteor. Like a meteor is coming down like it's
a
a meteor.
bigger sound. Bigger sound.
It is a bigger sound. Brighter, fatter. And that's not on the fat pickup sound. It's got a nice sustain. Got a nice top end dingly dingly.
Yes, it has the dingly dingly.
And we don't want to get technical on you people.
No, we're never going to get technical on you. Don't worry about it.
Dingly is something that
It's that thing. It's like Vox is famous for it.
They advertise the
They
dingly.
do. They put it. Actually, they got stickers they put on the front of their amps to go extra dingly dingly.
That's how I order my pizza.
It's free with purchase.
That's how I order my pizza.
Extra you can get the dingly dingly. All you want.
All the dingly dingly.
All you want.
That's what she said. Yeah, that's a nice sound. Let's try the humbucker.
I like that, and I think I can remember that now. All right, yeah, give me. Okay, I'm beginning to think that this might be a gig-worthy amp.
You need monitors to get over a drum, I think.
Let's
Not
hear
a drum. A single drum would be okay.
Let's hear the dirt.
It's musical. Of course, that's EQ halfway. Let's turn it up real quick, all the way.
Okay.
Clean channel, humbucker, all the way, EQ.
Everything, like all three, just
All
maxed
three,
out?
all the way up, and presence. And presence. Presence has been down the whole time. So,
Yeah, and there comes the hum from the presence. Okay.
Right. Oh!
Yeah, that's brittle.
Wow. No, it's British.
Well,
Sounds
yeah,
British.
but things, they do brittle things.
Oh my God, it's the presence. Let me get rid of the presence. It's like non-holiday, no presents.
Right.
It's not too much, that's all right.
It still has most of its dingle dingle as well. Most.
But as a clean sound, it sucks. It's a great dirty. So a humbucker, you gotta dial it back quite a bit, but that's nice. You can go from, if you got something like this, go from that to, without changing anything. That's pretty cool.
That's not bad.
That's pretty cool. It's not real loud, but it's, I couldn't talk to you over it. People can't tell because we've got mics on, but if I tried to talk to him and said something along the lines, all right, so that's
That just,
Are you ready for the dirt?
I am ready for the dirt.
so-
I'm totally ready.
Oh, we got a noise problem. In that
I have a
there's
problem.
more. All right, so as soon as we engage, we got noise. I'm going to take the EQ back to 5s.
Okay.
And still no presence, because you've been bad boy.
Well, I haven't really done much, have I, except run my mouth.
All right, so we're dirty.
You're always dirty, buddy.
I'm back to 5s. I got no presence, just a touch of reverb. We're 9 o'clock, still on the reverb. It's a little later, maybe 9:15. We've been doing this a little bit.
Right.
All right, gain, I'm going to go to 5 o'clock on the gain.
Ooh,
and go
5
up the
o'clock.
volume.
5 o'clock in the gain.
I'm starting at the neck,
Okay.
because that's how I like to do it.
Right.
Right? All right, rolling.
Okay.
So somewhere in there. It's very stringy.
I'll tell you what,
hear the strings.
it doesn't suck.
Yeah.
It's got a very familiar rock and roll tone to it.
Sounds martially.
It does sound very martial.
And even when you do things like that, it doesn't get out of control. It can clearly handle the gain as opposed to some things. It's a big box, so certainly the cabinet's not going to be a problem. A nice chirp. Without too many artifacts and dust, you know, and noise. Let's go to Humbucker land. See, that's what it's looking for. I'm refraining from playing any, you know, specific. But you can hear his sound in there. It's definitely got that slashy thing.
It's definitely a,
I'm humming.
yeah, you know.
It's nice, it's satisfying, it's fun to play. You can get all those squeaks and squawks and all that kind of stuff out of it.
Do you want to go from the 5-watter to the other 5-watter and save this for last, or do you want to just go in order? Huh? I just threw a curveball at you right live on whatever this is.
Live on recorded television.
Live on tape.
I think we should. Because then we can get a volume reference.
Right, 5 and 5.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so one more chance to listen. I'm only on 5, basically. Well, I take that back. Master volume on this is on 6. Gain is on 5, so we should probably give it a chance to hear all the gain. That's maxed out gain. Gotta control it, it's
Plenty
live.
enough, though.
Boy, as a studio amp, that would be a lot of fun. It's like instant sustain wherever you go. It's like a sustainer. It's so cool, and it's not that loud, really. I mean, we're not that loud.
No, we're in
It probably sounds like we're
regular
mega
sound
loud,
studio.
but it's. It's like every note has got some hidden little thing that you can squeeze out of it.
Okay, I'll say that I'm more impressed with that than I expected to be.
I am too. I am surprised. I am surprised. All right, let's move on.
All right, move on.
Switching over to the, I see now, I was going to put it on standby and I had to go through off, so you got to flip that one quick too.
I don't like that feature.
That's the one thing I would change.
Yeah, I don't like that feature. Although, you know, 2 switches isn't necessary either. You could have the, you know, off, standby, on,
right? That'd be okay.
Right?
Oh, you know, we should check real quick while we've got it still here. We're still there. We're still there. I'm switching to the 1 watt at the full gain.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna turn the volume up all the way. So it still has that even at a lower volume.
It does. It seems to have lost something besides volume, though.
Yeah, the magic comes away a little bit, huh? Yeah, that's kind of something, doesn't it? That's exciting.
It's cool. It is. It's like I said, I'm way more impressed than I thought I would be.
I am too. All right, this time I remembered to go through the standby, so.
Okay. So
which is great. So I go to another amp and then turn it off.
Right, and then you bust the damn switch off because you're trying to shift it in 3rd gear. It's only a 2-speed. Even Philip thinks that's funny.
Now, it will sound different because it's going to be over there, to me, and to you, because it's going to be over there. It's
right, it's in a different spot.
What I'm trying to say, in case you
so this one doesn't have a standby. This one just. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to roll. This is if anybody that's familiar with Class 5, it's volume, treble, middle, bass.
Treble, middle, bass.
Treble, middle, bass. Treble, middle, bass.
I'm going to ask our good friend to hand me a drink. Yeah, Phil, can I have a drink, Phil? I need my. This is a non-sponsored situation here.
All knobs at noon.
I can't mention what drink I drink, but. What do you got? Clean?
This is a straight up noon on all 4 knobs.
Everything's straight up?
Everything's straight up.
It's got way more bottom end, it sounds like.
It does seem like it's super low mids or just. Now let's see if we did this, like this is the traditional cut the mids a little bit. Mids at 10, highs and lows at 2. O'clock.
It's very warm, very musical. Makes me want to play old Motown. I'm not saying I'm playing old Motown, just makes me want to.
Can you clean up any if you roll the volume back a wee bit?
Let's go to Humbucker. See what we got.
That sounds pretty darn good. I'm telling you, man.
It's got a lot of mid-range definition.
All the way up. Just compared to the Slash, it seemed like, I mean, obviously 2 channels versus 1 channel, so there's a big difference when you only have 1 volume in the entire circuit. But that one just had to me, a lot more authority in those. I mean, the sustain, but just like the attack of the notes had more authority. They just appear and they swell into this.
That's almost more blues and more rock and roll.
Yes.
Would you say?
Yeah.
Give me a little bit more of everything. Except bass. It sounds out of its comfort zone at that level.
Yeah, it strains just a wee bit.
Pull it back to where it feels good.
Okay, so basically because you said give you more of everything except bass, that I also crank the mids up. I'll pull
Wait,
those
I might
back.
have been on single coil. Hang on. No, I was on Humbucker.
And that's volume at 3 o'clock, and then treble at 2, mids at 11, and bass at 2 again. Okay.
Hard to find fault with that.
The only real difference between this now and what just before is the volume level is still high. It's just bringing those mids back out again, because I think you're right. I think Marshall's kind of are mid-heavy anyway.
Where's the bass on it now?
Bass is at 2 o'clock. Bass and treble at 2 o'clock. And mids at 11 o'clock. So mids are pulled back slightly, everything else is up just a little bit.
Pull the bass back to 12 o'clock. That's better, I think. Yeah, it doesn't get overwhelmed with this pickup that way. Doesn't get too flubby. If you hit it with some authority. It's real smooth with the neck. How about that in-between thing? That's nice. More vintage sounding. Right?
Yeah, I think it is. Although I think the Slash is kind of vintage sounding too,
vintage,
but it's
60s, 70s.
Okay, all right, maybe. Yeah,
60s,
maybe. Although
which became the sound of the late 80s, but
it's almost 80s vintage and 70s vintage almost to me.
All right. All right.
Yeah, and I'm hoping this is going to end up being 60s vintage right here.
Okay. It's fun.
I mean,
it's good.
And volume-wise, I'd have to say, and I'm sitting closer to this, obviously. So
that sounds louder.
That sounds louder to you. I was going to say that
bit.
sounded louder to me, but that's because.
What volume are you at right now?
9 o'clock or 3 o'clock.
Go all the way. Doesn't get any louder. Yeah, the Slash is louder than that. Okay, well, let's move on to this because
let's do.
Yeah, I like the sound of that though. I really like the sound of that.
So okay, on this amp,
got two
we've got 2 switches to start. We have a standby switch, private standby switch, and then we have tremolo intensity and speed. So it's got built-in, and I'm assuming that's tube trem, or did they wouldn't put digital trem on
no,
an
I'm
amp
sure
like
it's
this.
tube trem. Yeah.
So it's tube trem, and then you have
83,
a single tone and a single volume for this
each
one,
channel.
and a single tone and a single volume for the other one. Right. So that's basically what you got. And to me, even though in some ways this is more complicated because there's 2 inputs per channel. And although you can you jump these like you could the old ones?
I don't know if you can jump them or not.
I think you can.
Phil, do you know if you can jump these?
Can you jump?
Yes, he says
jump
yes.
the channels? Oh, okay.
This is Phil.
Okay, well then we can't really take his word for that.
But we could try and blame him if
I assume
something
because you could do that to the old ones. You could jump them.
So we should try that.
Right?
But first, let's try this.
Let's just try it, yeah.
Let's see what we got. So I'm going to put tone on 5.
And volume on 5.
All right. Well, it's 18 watts, so I'm going to put volume on 0 and we'll roll it up.
Okay, and then we'll leave the tremolo just off for now.
Well, we're not even in that channel. We're just, that's only on that channel.
But when we are, it's already off. It's a safety thing, so it doesn't automatically, you don't start getting a wobble and people start freaking out and running through the hills because the aliens are coming or whatever.
This guy's got it.
here we got the.
All right.
See, I like this already.
It's a lot louder, and
It's a whole lot louder.
And I'm on 4.
Right.
So similar volume would put us at about 2. 2.5 maybe. That's nice. Lots more headroom, you can feel it.
Yeah, and it's also more even response from top to bottom too. It doesn't feel like it's weighted down in any particular frequency range. It's
That's
like
true.
It's got this down here, it's got this, and everything. Yeah, really balanced from top to bottom.
Lots of headroom.
Yep. All right, let's see what it'll do if you put a little volume in this. I'm just gonna put it up. This would be 5, so halfway. Oh, listen to that.
It's going to be loud in the mic. Yeah, Phil likes that.
I backed it down to 9 o'clock. Tone knob makes a drastic difference. That's taking it all the way to the bass side, so cutting all the treble out, adding it all back in. And then the middle is kind of balanced.
Yeah. Very musical. I'm getting lost in the playing. It's just fun to play. It's good. All right, let's try channel 2. See if it's any different. Put it on exactly the same settings and see if it's
Same settings right there.
All right, see.
Different.
Totally different. Brighter.
Okay.
And it seems to have like a pulsation problem. The other channel didn't seem to have this. Oh, it's getting worse. It's like the volume's going up and down. It's a nice trim.
All right, so there's as much as without it as you can get. And there's
That's
still,
as
you can
far
still,
out as you
that
can
is
go.
0-0 all the way off. And you can still feel that slight
Is
pulsation.
it foot switchable? Is it foot switchable, Phil? No? Yes? No? Maybe so? God, his eyebrows are doing things you just wouldn't believe. It's like 2 caterpillars fighting on his forehead.
Let's give it a little more volume and see.
See if it gets louder.
You can still hear.
Yeah.
So you might as well have it.
God, it's such a nice trim. Oh, even that stuff's nice. I've been listening to too much Steely Dan. My chords are getting all
Right?
complex. It's got a glassiness. It's got a togetherness, a cohesive.
It's. I'm sure that's partially due to the fact that it's talking to us. I just don't understand the language.
The hamsters on the wheels and stuff. Sometimes they get hungry.
But I will say, I mean, I like low wattage amps, but to me, 18 watt is a low watt amp.
Well, yeah, because you play bass mostly, and 300 watts is a low wattage amp.
Right. But I have to say, just the character of this amp is, and And I think it is. I think very 60s sound in Marshall. That's very 70s sound in Marshall, and that's kind of like Slash. It's a, you know, that's the JCM 800 kind of, you know.
Which I think it is, basically. It's like a, whereas that's like a plexi, essentially. Right. And this is like a blues breaker,
Like a blues breaker, yeah.
The openness of this is very compelling. Let's crank it up. We haven't heard the distortion on this thing yet. So I'm going to humbucker mode. Oh, that's nice for a humbucker.
Now, in order to get distortion on this, you have to crank the volume.
Oh, we'll leave it there for a second. That's nice. So that's humbucker. Single coil. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
You can like hear the string windings and stuff. That's nice. Go to humbucker.
So let's
You crank it.
I'm gonna really let this go, okay? It's not all the way up. It's just I put it. It's at about 6 of 10.
All right. Well, let's crank it.
Going all the way.
Go for it. Tone down a little bit. Tone down. That's really nice. And quiet, really. It doesn't get that.
Winner.
It doesn't get that sustaining thing that you get from the Slash, though. It dies off in a very pleasant way, but it dies off.
Right, because it doesn't have the 2-stage gain, right? It
A
doesn't have the
little booster
pre-gain
pedal in
with
the front would be nice. It's very satisfying sounding. And with a band, that would really. Yeah, I give it a. Hey, you got the right switch.
I got the right switch,
yeah. Price point's pretty important at this for this buying decision, you know.
Well, the Slash ain't a cheap amp, is it?
No, just
this is the only one that's kind of
probably
in the regular normal.
And they don't make the
affordable.
Slash anymore. I think that's been discontinued. So you have to find a used one if you're looking for a Slash. But in general,
These
all
have been,
good.
Obviously, this is a reissue 74X. It's not a, original 60s version.
True.
But
That's true.
I got to say, the early vote is in for this guy over here. Looks, we win flat out here.
I do like the look of it.
Number one.
Thing,
it's got the number. So the number one it looks. And tone. Oh my God. I mean, hands down, this one. And we're not even, because we weren't even talking about volume. We're just talking about, but the truth of the matter is this amp is big enough to play on at a bar gig.
Yes, absolutely.
Those two would be okay if they were mic'd up and you were getting
coming through monitors,
some kind of support. Yeah, some kind of support. But Yeah, looks and tone right here, and then if we were discussing volume, and of course then it's not a fair fight, even though we said at the beginning that wattage doesn't really equate to volume, blah, blah, blah.
So let's ignore the live thing, because we agree this is really the only one truly suitable for a live situation.
Right.
No apologies.
Right, so you're only talking about just using it for the studio.
Right.
So then it depends on what you're trying to do, right? Because if you're trying to do that thing with the massive sustain, well, the Slash is the
really
hands-down winner.
And if you want that warm vintage thing, then I think the Class 5 does it. But as an all-arounder, this definitely has that.
Yeah, if I could only have one of these amps, it would be this amp
Now,
right
this
here.
one, we've already agreed that if you use the tremolo channel.
Ask Stacy if he's using it next time you see him, and
yeah.
you know, I'll just take it. The Slash has the negative with the switch, with the standby in the middle.
That's true.
Or off in the middle.
The Class 5 has no negatives other than it's not super loud.
Yeah.
And doesn't have a lot of clean
no
headroom.
negatives, but
not
not
a
super
lot of
loud.
clean headroom. This one's got a lot of clean headroom on the clean channel. This one's probably got the most clean headroom, but largely because of the power.
Well, the Class 5's got the least tubage.
Well, Class 5 does that? Well, they both have single tube. But
Yes, but that's a bigger single tube in the Slash.
And 3 preamp tubes, 2 preamp tubes.
Right.
And 3 or 4 here.
This one has I think 2 preamp tubes, but also maybe it has 3. No, because it has a phase inverter.
Oh, right,
or something.
right.
So there's 3 what we would call 12X7s or whatever.
ECC 83s.
Right,
yeah.
and then but it also has one of those tube rectifiers.
Oh,
so
okay.
this one is different in that regard too. And I just always thought.
And this has got the digital reverb, which
and
is
that's got
unusual.
digital reverb.
And the channel switcher.
This ain't got digital nothing.
You know, it really just depends what you want. As always, I got to honestly say none of them's bad. They're all really good.
No, I thought they all sounded great.
And ideally, I guess our advice is you need all 3.
I think you need these 3 and then some.
And then some.
Yeah, I mean, you know, let's be reasonable and honest here. I mean, like, what do we have here for? Like, we've got this.
The Marshall 25th Jubilee. Yeah, that's a.
We didn't even put that in the shootout.
Well, it's 25 watts.
Lives here.
It's a little out. Yeah, and it's a little out of the realm of these. This was a stretch, and you know, in some ways, it's not surprising we would like it better. Of the 2 5 watts, if you had to pick, which would you think?
That's kind of tough. And
I had to pick. That's it. Not Desert Island, because then there'd be nobody to play with.
I'll take the Slash.
Because it's louder?
No.
Because it's got more sustaining gain?
Because it has more gain and sustain, and it has 2 channels, and you can, I'm sure, foot switch those.
It's literally twice the weight.
Yeah, but you know, that's why they make those little wheeled carts. Believe me, I'm a bass player. I got wheeled carts for the cabinets.
Okay.
It's
so you'd pick that one. Of the 2, if I had to pick, I think I'd pick the Class 5.
You'd pick the Class 5?
I do.
Okay.
But we both agree if you could pick all 3,
right, then
this would be the one.
This would be the one right here.
Well, on that surprising note, we say thank you very much from Jet and Reggie in the studio. We'll see you next time. Please comment below what you thought about all this and what your opinions are. We would love to read them. See you next time. Oh, man, you got to turn it on.
No, I got you.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Gear and Gigs. Make sure you tell your friends to join us next time, and do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, you know, get engaged. Not the wedding kind, that's totally up to you. I'm not recommending that. I'm just saying, you know, engage with us. Hey, Gear and Gigs, we love you guys. Unless you say something terrible, in which case, you know, we probably don't love you quite as much. We'll still respect your opinion. I mean, you know, we'll take it under advisement. But anyway, you see where I'm going. All right, we'll see you guys later. Next time.